And welcome back to your first 2020 edition of Thoughts of the Roundtable. It's me, Matt.
And me, Paul.
And how are you?
Good. I think we forgot to sign off in 2019, but that's okay. It doesn't
Did we?
matter
Oh,
anyway.
well. Just like 2019, it ended with a bang.
Did you see... What do you watch when... that night, December 31st? Do you watch TV at all? Like the ball drop ceremony?
I went to a friend's house, and then we played this really cool game. It's kind of like a mashup of like Apples to Apples and like Mad Libs, and it was really cool. And then there was some other, like, we were just having a good time. But then I think we turned on, it was like NBC's ball drop. I mean, it's all the same.
Because I like to watch CNN's only for the fact that I love Anderson Cooper. And to see him go from, like, solid reporter to him barely being able to do Jaeger bombs on live TV and almost puking.
I got to admit, though, I miss him and Kathy used to have such a good relationship.
I don't like her.
Oh, okay, so you're fine.
Well, because she's always, to me, is like that annoying aunt. You just want to shut up.
You're like, you can only handle like 10 minutes and you're like...
Yeah, she's one of those people that's like, oh, you can have like a couple minutes and it's like, all right, just shut up. You're just too much.
But I feel like she and Anderson used to have such good, back and forth. But I don't know, the whole thing about...
Remember she kissed him on New Year's Eve?
Oh,
and he was like taken aback by it?
I could totally imagine that. He's like, he's the kind of like gay guy that's like, listen, I'm just a normal dude. And
with the look on his face was just like, wow, okay.
Yeah. I just, no offense to any of those shows. It's just like, I'm not that interested in like tuning into any of them. I don't know. Like,
all I think about is
the ball drop's cool, I guess. Like, but like, I'm not gonna be like, oh, guess
it's fun. I like seeing the yearly wrap ups they do. That's
okay.
Fun.
Those are kind of cool.
And I always like when they have reporters on weed buses. Those are pretty good. But I always like see the people in the crowd. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I wonder how many of those people have just shit their pants,
dude.
Because
all of them.
like basically all of
them.
Yeah.
So that's like one of the reasons. Like, there's like a few things on my like would never do list, and I can't even imagine what's really on that list. But standing in the middle of New York City for that night, having to crap my pants over and over.
Yeah.
That's on my...
I had a friend who legitimately lived in New York City, and he lived in Manhattan, like, seriously, like a 10-minute walk from Times Square. I was like, oh, so you and he lived there for 5-6 years. I was like, so you obviously went down for the ball drop. He's like, absolutely not. There's no way. I'm like, you live 5 blocks from me. He goes, doesn't matter. Don't want to do it.
Well, another thing too is like I'm a heavy peer, dude. I drink so much water and liquids. I probably have to pee.
You just have to pee your pants.
Like, I low key have to pee right now. Like, just where would all my pee go? It's not like okay.
You do pee every time we do this podcast.
Yes, because I drink like maybe 140 ounces of water plus like an extra like
do you track
30 ounces plus of coffee, and like, I mean, I'm not like tracking it per se, but like, I'm just, where would all that go? It's not like, okay, have a baggie with all my pee or anything. I don't know.
I mean, you have to just crap your pants and pee your pants. That's all you got to do.
But like, I'd have too much pee. That's the problem.
Also, you'd be like this huge, like, your pants are all
soaked.
swelled up.
It'd be soaked.
But what I was thinking about too is, they have those hats that have like the Planet Fitness logo on.
Oh my god,
like,
they look
how
terrible.
much do you think they paid to have all those Planet Fitness hats down there?
Oh, probably like $2 a hat, not even. But like, I'm not wearing that. That thing looked like Cat in the Hat went to Planet Fitness.
I don't know.
Like, that thing looked terrible. I'm not wearing that.
I went to Times Square once. It was just, I was in New York City, and we walked down Times Square. It was like middle of the summer, not anything special, but it was a Saturday night.
Okay.
It was so crowded, I just wanted to scream. And that was just a Saturday. Just Saturday. Yeah. I'm like, this is not, I can't
You
do
were
this.
asking... You were asking for a new plague that day.
There's like people on stilts and shit. Like, there's all these things going on, which is cool, and I get if you like that, but to me I was just like, I can't even breathe at the moment.
I think a lot of New Yorkers refer to it as a tourist trap.
Without a doubt it is.
Because like, isn't that where like there's like an Olive Garden that's like $30 a plate, Olive Garden and shit.
I don't remember that. I just remember I went to New York with my buddies, one of my buddies who smokes.
Yeah.
And it was like $18 a pack. He goes, I'm just going to move here. This will get me to quit real quick.
Well, you know what's funny too? Like, I work on an early morning schedule, and I'm like, oh, like if I were ever to move to New York or LA, I'm like, I'd actually probably want to be on an early morning schedule, because then you could beat all the traffic.
And ironically, people don't say this, because I've been there a couple times. New York is the city that never sleeps. Mm-hmm. No, that city sleeps. A lot of stuff is closed by like 9 and 10 o'clock. It really is. We were down there. It was only like 10:30 10:30.
Oh, gosh,
and
late for
we
me.
couldn't find a place to really even just go eat. Everything was shut down.
Yeah.
I was like, I thought this was the city that didn't stop. Like, what is this?
And someone's like, get out of my way,
And then
macho."
I almost crapped my pants on the bus. That was a bad day.
And the bus was in Times Square where the ball dropped. It was
What
perfect.
happened? I had some mac and cheese that didn't agree with me, man.
Oh, God.
And we were taking the bus back, and I don't even know where in New York we were. And I was like, I got to get off this bus and just poops because it's near whatever. And then I found this bar, and I just booked it into this bar. And I knew it was probably one of those like reservation only places. I literally ran right by the
They're
bouncer.
like, sir, what's your table?
No.
And you're just like, whoop.
I ran right by the bouncer and like made eye contact with him, and
Mm-hmm.
he must have just seen like the fear of God in my eyes and just like just let him go.
He's like, those are the eyes of a man who really has to poop. Well, did you put in a resolution?
No, because no, I don't do the res. I just try. I don't know.
Well, I did put 6 goals together for the year. I have 6 goals.
Okay.
Last year I had 3, and I did all 3. So
Wasn't stand up was one of them, wasn't it?
yeah, it was
remember you
officially
saying
released
it last
podcasts. Oh my God, like this one. Officially put my music up on platforms, and then try stand up. So I did all 3 this year. I got 6, and
What are they?
booked 10 gigs on my own. And so far, I mean, like, here's
Booked
the thing.
10 gigs. You've booked like 30 already. I feel
Yeah,
like.
see, well, here's the thing. Does it count if all the gigs that I'm booking are like, I have connections that like have been pre-established, or is this like book 10 new gigs?
10 gigs seems like 10 gigs. You're
True.
doing like 10 a month.
I mean,
I'm
this
not
week,
joking.
Actually, no joke. This week, I have hosted trivia yesterday. I'm sub-hosting tonight, and then I'm hosting Wednesday and Thursday, and I'm DJing on Friday night at the club. I mean, it is.
You DJ now? Like, do
Oh,
you
yeah.
have your own equipment, or do you like? Use
I mean,
house food?
luckily for the club that I'm at right now, I mean, I just roll up with my laptop, and they have a virtual DJ board and all that jazz. But no, I mean, I want to kind of reach out. I mean, I don't even know the first thing about like Google. Like,
your
Google, like,
goal should be this.
Yeah.
Because you book a ton of gigs. That seems like kind of a cop out thing. Book 10 out of state gigs. I'm not talking about like Hawaii. I'm saying
Yeah.
go to Indiana.
Yeah.
Go to Kentucky.
The only thing is like you know what does it sound stupid to be like I don't know how to do that, or do you think that's just like me like it sounds like a lot of work?
It's a lot of cold calls.
Like, hi, my name's Man.
Yeah, it's basically all it is. I mean, I'm sure you can find some dive bar to start off at.
Exactly.
South Bend, Indiana.
Oh yeah, that's the best place to club DJ. So I had that. I want to film a follow-up movie, which that's in the works. I want to continue working on stand-ups. That's kind of vague, but that's the deal there.
At least not giving up.
I want to write a trilogy. This idea I have, and so far I've got 20 pages down, so that's great.
On the first one?
Yeah. And then I wanted to release a new album, which I'm doing this month, so that's almost done. And then the 6th one...
Should have been an email? Is that what that is?
Well, that's the single. Could have been an email this Friday. The album's called Hot Intern. And the idea is like it combines kind of
I want to live for a week in your mind.
You would die.
Hot Intern.
So the Hot Intern album is going to be like this idea of it explores like a lot of like workplace analogy and metaphor in like real life kind of like situations and friendship, family,
This
relationships.
is the most millennial bullshit I've ever heard in my life.
I hate you. So, like, for example, like, could have been an email. It's kind of about, like, when you're talking to someone and you're like, dude, like, this could have been a text. Like, you didn't have to call me. We didn't have to go out on a date for this. But it's also in the workplace sense, like, when you get, a meeting, that should have been an email. And then there's, like, other tracks. Like, another track that actually does, like, a good job of blending this. It's called Resume. And it's actually the album closer. And it's, like, it's like a power ballad. And it's, it really is. And it's comparing, like, the end of a relationship and an end of, like, a workplace. Like, I'll put you on my resume of things I've learned to put away. Don't think you're good enough for me to stay. Don't think you're good enough for me to stay. And it's just, like, this idea that, like, hey, it's time's up. Like, I'm going to put you on my resume.
It's the most
and put
ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my life, man.
It's going to be some good bops. So I'm really excited. And then I want to do a summer standalone single that I'm hoping will be really cool, too. But anyway, enough about me. But yeah, so I have my 2020 goals. I don't know. Resolutions are always a little... I don't think anyone follows those.
I don't really... I guess I should make resolutions, but... I don't know. I just never have. I've never done that. It's not like it's something I've given up on. Maybe my resolution should be to make resolutions.
Yeah. I mean, I think goals...
My life's boring, though. Your life isn't boring. My life is boring.
I think goals, though, is a better term for it. Because resolution makes it seem like everything's going to change, right? Mm-hmm. Whereas goal is like, I want to do it, so I'm going to explore it. And, like, God forbid, like, I don't meet one of these 6 goals. Like, the world's not going to crash. I'll probably just carry over that goal to next year,
Put it in red then, that it was unaccomplished
I'll put it in an email because you wanted to have a meeting.
How is the stand-up going?
It's going good. Now I'm hosting a monthly show on the east side, and so I want to replicate that on the west side. So the issue there, going back to that South Bend, Indiana thing, is I just got to reach out to venues and actually be like, hey, could I host a monthly show here? And blah, blah, blah. And, like, looking for open mic opportunities, too. The only thing is, like, I do trivia nights Wednesdays and Thursdays. Mondays, I'm doing either trivia or I'm open micing. So, like, I don't have that much
Are you ever going to
time.
have a full-time job?
I do have a full-time job.
You know what I mean.
Like what?
Like your set career path. Or is it just going to be a whole bunch of, like,
I think it's
things
always
going
to be a patchwork quilt. I don't know. The more I think about it, like, I think I'm most interested actually in, like, videography. I don't know. Like, I just think of all the things that I've done and, like, the things that, like, I think I'll continue.
You're gonna be like a
on.
cameraman for National Geographic someday.
No, not like that. More like, I don't know, like, like those shows on, like, Comedy Central that, like, it's, like, directed, written, and produced and starring, like, that one person.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of, like, where I'd like to be in, like, 10 years, give or take.
Making your own movies on Comedy Central.
Like, not even, like a cult classic-esque kind of vibe.
Like Friday.
Oh, I thought you meant Friday by Rebecca Black.
No,
you mean
the
Friday
movie.
the movie? Yeah. Okay. Yes. Yeah. But yeah.
Also, equally hilarious.
I mean, both very similar. Well, do you have any news for us?
I do. So you remember? I think it was. It's 2020 now. I think it was early 2019 when that the Powerball got real high. Remember, it was like 300 some million.
Oh, I think
No, what was it? It was higher. It was close to $1 billion, wasn't it?
A lot of money. I remember. I mean, once in a while, it happens every
Okay,
once in a
so
while.
there's 2 instances I'm thinking of. The one where it got close to $1 billion. It was like 800 some. 3 people won that. You remember that?
I do. Yeah,
There's 3 people, and they never ID'd any of them. Mm-hmm. They never ID'd any of them. Like, they came forward.
Yeah.
But they were all anonymous. And then it was like 380 million, so it was like and one person once, it was the largest single person. And that lady never turned in the ticket. It was a woman, and I remember they leaked. But they never found her. And so that moved, I guess it went back to, I don't know where it goes, but can you imagine losing that ticket that's worth 380 million?
No.
But anyways, long story short, when that was all going on, I was like convinced I was going to win that lottery.
Yeah.
Remember, because everyone had bought tickets.
Yeah.
Well, there's these 2 guys in Mississippi.
Of course,
who-
Mississippi.
It's always Mississippi.
Always Mississippi, Florida, Mississippi.
They obviously did not win the lottery, but they thought they could chance it.
Sneak in there a little bit.
They edited a ticket using glue and wrote on numbers.
Okay, and then what happened?
Well, obviously the teller knew immediately it was fake and called the police. I don't know if it's actually a crime or not.
I mean, I think so, right? It's like kind of like fraud.
I mean, yeah, but they didn't. I don't know. What would you do to them? Would you charge them?
If I was
like,
the
"Get
bank
hell out of
teller
here"?
or the police?
Because it's not like they're ever gonna get away with this ever, no matter where they try it.
I don't know. I think if I was the police, I'd probably be like, dudes, just don't. I think if I was the bank teller, I'd probably laugh about it and be like, get the frick out of here. But
All right, now
tenacity, though. You got to give them the tenacity.
one more story. I always wanted to do this, but I didn't think it was actually possible, and I think there's part of the story that we don't know, where a woman reportedly fell asleep on a mattress at a mattress store and stayed there all night, and then the employees didn't see her, and she just slept there all night.
But, like, this is like a sitcom plot that, like, never happens. Now it happens, though.
Well, there's
I feel like
there's
I've
a
seen
couple things
sitcoms.
where it's like it makes me seem fishy. One, the obvious. How does an employee not see you sleeping on the?
Was it a canopy bed, maybe?
I don't know. It just calls it a display mattress.
Maybe with one of those, like, mosquito nets around it? Like,
Okay, even so. Okay.
a bunk bed situation?
so-
She's in the bottom bunk, all curled up. And
You would assume eventually you'd wake up in the middle of the night, right?
oh, yeah. I mean, right? If let's
Leading-
say she goes to bed at, like, 6.
Leading me to, because obviously she was there before the store closed.
Yeah.
The store isn't closing.
And I don't know. What time does a mattress store close? Like 8, 7?
8, maybe 9.
I don't know. To be fair, there's that whole theory. I think we've talked about this of Mattress Firm being like housing like the mafia or whatever.
Oh yeah,
remember that theory?
Yeah, but
So,
also don't they have
anyway.
like motion detectors for security overnight? You would think.
Probably. But if she's like dead ass,
What would you do? Say by some account this did happen to you, and you wake up at like 2:34 a.m.
I'd be
and
so
you're on a
scared.
display mattress. What would you do?
I'd probably call. Do you call the police?
I would probably call the police. Yeah, because I would probably call the police.
Just stay in that bed.
Yeah.
And don't even move because like I'm like I don't know. Because like the here's the truth.
Because I'm assuming they have security lights
Yeah.
on. The stores always leave a couple lights on
Yeah.
so you can see stuff.
I'm wondering like because like if you get up out of that bed and start moving around, well then it looks suspicious, right?
Well, you can always tell them to go to the camera and they're going to see what you did. So if you didn't do anything, you legitimately didn't do anything.
Yeah.
But still, I would still call the police and be like, whoops.
Or like I don't know, maybe you call the mattress store. Like well,
But no one's going to answer. The phone's going to be ringing like...
You know what I was thinking? I was thinking like
What
the
are you
manager's like, well, who's waking me up? Hello?
Yeah,
But,
I
like,
know.
How would you get access to that number? Yeah, you probably have to call the police on yourself, right?
That would be pretty funny, though.
Gosh, this is why we should have 24/7 mattress stores.
I kind of want to do something like that, though. Just see if it's possible.
That would be interesting to say the least.
All right, that's it for me today.
Well, I got a little bit of advice for you.
You want to save that for the next one?
Oh,
already
we
15.
could. Yeah, we're a little deep in this one. Well, we're starting off 2020 with a bang. We'll see you next time.
Later.